What is up, Super Fam and Bro Vengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And today we are talking about, yes, the verdict has finally come in for Jonathan Majors, and yeah, we're talking about that. So we're going to be talking about the Jonathan Majors verdict, him being fired from Marvel, and what that means for the overall MCU. I'll also give some of my thoughts about just the court case and things along the lines of that. Very not very briefly, but I'm definitely I got some things to say about the case and how things are going on for sure. As I'm sure everyone else has a lot of things and opinions about it as well. We're gonna try to keep it as cordial, as we can throughout the duration of this conversation. So yeah, we got mods in the chat and all that good stuff. So make sure you ain't tripping too heavily. But I'm definitely open to hearing everyone's opinions and how they feel about this crazy court case that definitely turned out a lot differently than I thought it would at the very least, for multiple reasons. But yeah, yo, so let me know how you guys are feeling about everything that's going on in the comments about this crazy case. And I'm just excited to talk about what this means for the overall MC. I'm excited to talk about a lot of the nerdy parts as well, but I'm not excited to talk about this case as like how it was handled and just the things that were happening and just there's a lot of things that I'm not happy about. I don't like, but we do get to still nerd out about certain things and whatnot. Like at the end of the day, this is a person's life that is now changed on both fronts forever. And while I don't stand by the actions that Jonathan Majors, did in that situation, he definitely should have got out of that situation a long time ago. It seems, you know what I mean. It seems that the whole relationship was one of that was kind of built on or centered around toxicity of some sort. And at some point, you got to be able to be like, okay, maybe we should go our separate ways or whatever the case may be. But I understand people wanting to make things work, and so on. But still, it's definitely one of those cases of a toxic relationship, and both parties involved definitely have some fault to what happened. It's just unfortunate that in this case, only one of the parties actually has to suffer the consequences of those actions that were involved in what was going on. No matter how you look at it, all the facts that are out there through the duration of the case unfolding, there was a lot of things said, there was a lot of things talked about, there was a lot of different things being shown, but there was a lot of things being disproven as well, and there was so it was just a lot going on within that case. So, while like I said, man, it's just kind of crazy to see how that case unfolded. And something that was talked about was this is all over a misdemeanor now. You know what I mean? It's like in most other places, a misdemeanor doesn't even go to trial, but the fact that it's in New York is the reason why that was able to happen. So it's just it's a perfect storm for a really bad situation, and it's super unfortunate to see happen the way that it has happened. Like I said, it's unfortunate that they couldn't have just kind of went their separate ways earlier and just avoided a lot of this stuff that's going on. Also it's even more unfortunate that the outcome or the reaction or the not the fallback, but the blowback didn't affect everyone that was a part of the situation. It's just very heavily only focused on him. The charges were dropped on his ex, basically like immediately going into the situation without even knowing what really was going on. And it's just kind of wild how the entire situation transpired over the case of these last months that have been going on, and then seeing all the stuff that has came out in the last couple of weeks in the form of video evidence and things along the lines of that. It was just crazy. A lot of people just were going into this week thinking that there was probably going to be a not guilty verdict going on today, but it was the exact opposite that happened. And it's just Yeah, it's definitely sad to see on everyone's part in the form of, I like when Justin Roiland was in this similar situation with the domestic abuse thing that had went on. I believe that, that was all very much warranted. There was a full case of domestic abuse happening there, as far as I remember. But in this case, and he was very reactionary, and she was even from some of the witnesses, the driver witnesses, he said, she was the aggressor. She was definitely going at the man, and all these things that were said throughout the court date. It's like, man, it was a lot of obvious evidence that what we were here, or what they were there for in court, was actually false, and it was false. Like, because what the entire court case was about was the events that basically occurred within the Uber that they were in, and boom, they don't even go. It's when he gets out of the Uber, that's when, that's what we're getting. We're getting him for that. None of the other stuff. But it's that part right there. It's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy. I think there was 4 different charges on him, and they got one of the charges to stick, and it was the lowest the lowest misdemeanor that you can get, in the form of assault that there is. I think it's like 3rd degree or something. So that's they literally charged him with the smallest thing that they could, and it definitely ruined his entire career. Someone in Mike Beasley's Discord said this is the most expensive misdemeanor ever, and it is. It is indeed the most expensive misdemeanor ever, and it's not only the most expensive misdemeanor; it's also the most. It's just the most wild thing to ever. I think that we've seen today. Like this case right here is definitely going to be studied in the future of things, and it's like, while I think I know a lot of people don't think that Major's career may be quote unquote over, but for all intents and purposes, what the blowback from this will equal, yeah, because a lot of people just, oh, he's guilty, and that's all they see is he's guilty, and they don't really read into the nuanced things that happened within the trial, and actually going over like what was going on, and a lot of other things that I don't want to bring up certain things that I would talk about in the moment right now, just because I won't. But at the same time, there are a lot of different variables about the situation that occurred. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different variables that happen with going into this situation, and that was known on all fronts. And as soon as just as a man, period, I think it's very scary to ever be in a DV type of situation of any kind, just because of how outlandish the entire situation can go, especially if it's not true. You know what I mean? If the truth isn't the truth type of vibe, then it's, I mean, not even anything else. It's just you don't want any of that type of stuff on you, because you know how serious it is. It's like all of these movements nowadays, and cancel culture is very serious. So even having an ounce of truth behind what is going on, it's over. Everyone's just going to take that and they run with it. No one reads the headlines. No one goes in deeper in the case. People just kind of hear the first thing that they hear, and then they go with that. Oh, the headline said this, all right, well, that's what the truth is. And it's like, man, there's so much more. Like that, his ex was put on I can't think of what it is, man, but she was put on, I keep wanting to say put on stage, but everything that they asked her, she damn near, everything was almost everything ended up being a lie that she was talking about. And it's crazy how they threw out every single piece of thing that she brought up and rebutted it and showed why it wasn't true, brought the receipts, even had the people that she was with after the situation come through, and they were even saying the things that she was saying weren't correct. Like they even had the officer on the stand. There you go, on stand, and the things that he said weren't even correct. Like everything across the board was just wrong. Like nothing was right. Nobody was telling the truth. Everyone was committing perjury about something in some place. Like nothing lined up. up. And then that video showed the truth, but they found that they took that video and instead it was like, yo, this one part where he picks her up and puts her back in the car, that is actually assault. And again, it's like he 100% should have not put his hands on that woman in any shape or form. But again, she was obviously the aggressor from every point of view that we could get from that situation. She was the aggressor, and then bro immediately ran for 6 blocks to try to de-escalate the situation. You know what I mean? And it's just definitely sad to see. And like even the audio that came out, while the audio is the most incriminating thing, the audio was also from 2022. And I think there was a lot of context just being missing from the text messages, from text messages, from voice calls, from all these things. There's just a lot of context that just was not there. Stuff blurred out, and nothing leading up to the conversation at that point. And it's like all of these minute things are getting leaked or getting put out there with no context to them, and everyone in the media and general audiences alike are all trying to find the perfect, like trying to put it together or whatever the case may be. And it's just kind of crazy to see all of the events that transpired still equal to this guilty verdict on the literal smallest charge that there could be a verdict on. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just really sad to see that happen to him. You know what I mean? Like, it's sad to see that happen to anybody, because it's like, man, the verdict came in, and hours later, maybe a couple hours later, Marvel fires him. Like, I mean, obviously, he already knew that was going to be the verdict. Well, he knew his job was depending on the verdict, but it's just like, bro, it's over. Like, he was already getting dropped left and right by all the companies even before the verdict came through, and Marvel stuck it out for the verdict. And it was like, yo, if the verdict is not guilty, we'll keep you. If it's guilty, you got to go. And that is also, understandable from their point of view because they're Disney, but then you have things like Ezra Miller being in every movie left and right from the sun up to the sun down, and it's like, yes, these are different situations, but at the end of the day, it's the justice system and this law stuff that's at the core of it all. So it's like, what's really going on? Why is a misdemeanor going to trial? Oh, because we're in New York. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like this weird perfect storm of a bad situation, a situation that, for all intents and purposes, it seems like he was trying to get out of. Like, I think we can all agree, no matter how you feel about whether he is rightfully guilty about the situation or not, he obviously was trying to get out of that situation from everything that we saw. And he still, and he even called the police for her once she overdosed and passed out and hit her head and all this other stuff. Like, bruh, damn. And he's still the one that's going to jail after he's the one that called the police for her. And it's like, man, the situation just does not look good on any front. On any front, it doesn't look good. Like, yeah. Like, once again, everything looks wild for no matter how you look at it, and he is definitely in the wrong. But once again, they're both in the wrong. So it's just kind of insane to see the outcome be this, and but when it all comes down to a jury, everything is up in the air. It's literally a 50-50 chance of what can happen when it's all down to a jury. And depending on what that jury, depending on the beliefs, I guess, of that jury, definitely determines on the outcome of the situation. But one thing I can compare this to is like the Justin Roiland situation, right? Justin Roiland was fired from Rick and Morty before his mugshot dropped on the internet. Like, they were not playing at all, when it came to, a situation like that. And that's up because it's Adult Swim, which is the Cartoon Network, which is actually HBO Max and Warner Brothers, right? So it's like, really, we have some really things going on. We have really weird things going on this board. And it's just, I don't know where these things are moving or how things go. But again, it's all different for everyone, I guess. And it's just like you can't expect one situation to be handled the exact same as another situation. But that's kind of, I guess, like, I don't want to spend too much time like ranting about how I feel about this because, I mean, at the end of the day, as a black man, this situation is definitely more. It's just, there's a lot of different things that I could say about the situation, but it all boils down to, man, you shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? Like, and it sucks, but we have to take so much more caution in the world with everything that goes on. Period. Period. Just period. So he shouldn't, like, that the call that came, the voice message that happened, like, before he even got to the point of saying all that stuff that he said in that voice, like in that voice message or when he was recorded, he should have already cut it off. Like, at the moment of having to, of that happening, he should have known, like, wait, this isn't the woman for me. You know what I mean? Like, because we all, as human beings, we all have, I don't want to say standards necessarily, but but we all have what we like and what we don't like within people. We all have our preferences, I guess you can say. And it's like, yo, unfortunately, this woman that you with is not up to your preferences, bro. That's it. So you gotta go the other way and go the other way, G, and do something different. And while he did try to do that, it was too late. It's too late, bro. It's too late. It's too late to make these decisions now. And it seems like he was already in the process of making those decisions as well, because he already had a new girl at the trial with him in the form of Megan Good, who he was with before the trial even started, who was probably the woman that he was texting in the first place that got him in this damn situation. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of narratives, I guess, that can be thrown around, but at the end of the day, man's made a bad mistake. Man's made a bad mistake, and it's a mistake that could have been avoided. And it's a mistake that it's a mistake that cost him basically everything, and that's really unfortunate. But it just goes to show you got to be careful with everything that's going in and going down. But like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on all of this good stuff that we're talking about right now. I just definitely want to shine some light on it. And of course, the same way when this situation first broke out, I didn't talk a lot about it at all. But then it was like, okay, let me talk about it and let me speak my piece on what's going on. And, no matter what we want to talk, no matter how you look at it, no matter what we say, um, no matter what, Johnathan Majors was guilty before he walked in that courtroom. You know what I mean? And it was just a case of what they were going to find him guilty of at that point. And it's clear to see that because the collective understanding of like everyone, not even just the internet, but just even the journalists and YouTubers and everything was like, oh yeah, this trial will probably be thrown out by Monday. And then it's like, whoa, it's not. Well, damn, like whoa, like there's nothing we can do about that, even though the evidence is all there, all the proof is in the pudding. I think what the Hollywood Reporter ended up coming out and saying kind of summed it up the best. Uh, okay. Okay, I'm back. My bad. My mic had went out. My mic went out. Don't know what the hell was going on. I was like, what? Wait a second. I don't see any feedback coming from my mic. But from what they say in the article, the verdict was reached by a 6-person jury. In total, Majors faced 4 charges of assault, aggravated harassment, and harassment after he called 911 on March 25th when he said he found his ex-partner, Grace Jabari, unconscious in their apartment. Police arrested Majors after finding apparent injuries on Jabari. And these injuries, by the way, were quickly debunked as not being like, like real, like for real injuries, like she was making them out to be. I believe there was a scratch, and her finger did look like it was jammed up, but the finger was obviously the finger was okay, and that was shown from the videos and pictures that came out after that. Like, she was buying drinks with his credit card, mind you, and doing all that type of stuff after the incident with the people that she was with. A laceration behind her ear and a bruised and fractured finger. Yeah, those things were there. She did have a very small laceration. I believe it was about a half an inch small laceration behind her ear. That by all means could have happened from her falling and becoming unconscious for being blackout drunk, and I believe she was also had some drugs in her system, but don't let me go spread no lies, because they gonna do that anyway. Jabari, who took the witness stand for the last 4 days of the trial, which is also very not normal, had caused the injuries. Said Majors had caused the injuries during an altercation in the car several hours before. This is the reason why we were in court right here, and that all came to be proven false information. Every ounce of it. Yeah. The first 3 charges are misdemeanor offenses and related to alleged incidents in the car. The 4th charge of harassment, which is a violation, the most minor offense among the charges, relates to an allegation that Majors threw Jabari back into the car as she tried to exit. As she tried to follow and attack him. It's kind of crazy the narrative that we saw get spun in front of our eyes. Like, I hope this truly will become a case study in the future, or in some type of PR classes. Like, something somewhere, this will be a case study of, hey, whatever happened here definitely needed to not happen the way that it happened, because I mean, oh wait, I missed it. I missed the spot. Oh. Like relates to an allegation that he threw her back in the car as she tried to exit. Mans was protecting himself. Like, especially if you watch the video, it's like he's like, hey, he's from what I've seen in the video, he was like, like he was like, ah, shit. Like, it looked like she was trying to attack him. She jumped out the car. He picked her up and put her back in the car and immediately took off running. Like, bro, man, look, that's crazy. I don't even know. I mean, all I'll say is he shouldn't have picked her up at all. He should have just started running. He should have just ran. He was probably trying to, but yo, like trying to, yo. She snatches his phone. She start going off like, yo, this is a case study of what you should not be going through when you are a famous dude. You know, like especially with the rant he went on in that voicemail. Like if that's truly how he felt, if that's truly the way he was perceiving things, then that leaves even less reason for him to be in this situation. You know, even less means for him to be in this situation. The defense argued that he placed her back in the car to stop her from running into traffic, which could also be possible. That action is captured on surveillance video, while the altercation inside the car was not captured on camera. It was not captured on camera, but we did get a straight up first-hand witness statement from the driver who said it was very obvious to him that she was the aggressor in the situation there as well. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that can be picked apart from this case that it makes me very, 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 very weary of like why this all happened. Like, you know what I mean? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The charges against Majors were brought by the state of New York rather than by Jabari herself. So the fear that Johnathan Majors had of even if he called the police, he would get in trouble is exactly what happened. That's kind of insane to me. Like, that's sad. That is sad for him. You know what I mean? That is a very sad thing that his biggest fear is exactly what happened. And now here we are. Like, you know, he was dead. Like we don't know why he told her before not to go to the police or any of that stuff. We don't know what that was like, but he did say that she came home crazy drunk or whatever. So, you know, I don't know. All I'll say is what is possible that could have happened in that situation. It's very possible what happened in this situation where she came home blackout drunk, passed out on the floor, and he might have had to help her. And then he's like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Yo, you are a small white woman and I am a big black man. You can't be coming home drunk like this, because if I call the police, the first thing they gonna do is think I knocked you out. That sounds very plausible. Is that what happened? I don't know. We don't know. We weren't there. But being a larger black man myself, I could see that being something that he would say in that situation. And I could see some of the frustration he may have in that situation as well, because shit has happened for a lot less to black men and with the police involved. You know, I'm not going to go down that road too far. I just want to make a blatant observation that I don't think a lot of other people can make because they themselves are not big black men. You know what I'm saying? So as a big black man, that is an observation that I can make, that only not even taking race into account, just being a bigger man with a smaller woman in general is always going to be bad for you, no matter what. No matter what's about that, no matter what the truth is of the situation, you always going to be the bad guy. That's kind of how it goes. It's unfortunate, but that's one of the many truths of this justice system, right? If the woman files for custody, she gonna get it 9 times out of 10. And if there is a domestic violence situation, it is going to all be on the man, even if it's the woman that is the aggressor 9 times out of 10. That's just kind of how it is, and it sucks. That's how it is. And this is a case of seeing that that's how it is. But man, it would have been. There were a lot of other routes that could have been taken again. And that's why I keep going back to John saying, like, for all intents and purposes, it is still on Johnathan Majors no matter what, because back then in 2022, when these things started going on and he was going off on her and saying all these things, by all means, that was the point where he should have ended the relationship and been like, okay, you don't understand the type of woman that I want. So let's go our separate ways. And that kind of what it sounded like he was saying in the video. He just said it in a very wild, borderline narcissistic way. You know, like and again, even that stuff was taken out of a lot of context. So it's just this situation all around the board is insane. And going through and the best thing, like, for me that could have happened was not following these headlines as things were coming out, but following the headlines as things were coming out, because it's like this isn't the only source of me getting my information or knowing what was happening. Like, I saw the videos myself. I'm seeing all the evidence that they're talking about myself with my own eyes. I'm not just reading these reports. I'm not just seeing all of this. Like, I watched that man run for 6 blocks, and I watched that woman chase him for 6 blocks. You know what I'm saying? And then just stop and then go out for a night of partying and drinking using his credit card. That's crazy. And he's the one that has possibility of facing jail time now. That's all insane. That's all wild. You know what I mean? That's very wild. And again, like, I'm not downplaying that he has wrong. I'm not, but she got wrong too. And there's relatively zero repercussions for her wrongdoing in this. And not to mention, did we forget that she full-blown ran and was on the run and escaped, like, back to her home country when she knew that the police was looking for her, and that didn't matter at all either? Like, this whole case has been wild. It's like, oh yeah, she escaped. Like, bro, well, that's obvious that she's obviously guilty of something, because she ran away when she knew they was looking for her. Oh boy, she came back and turned herself in, so we're just gonna drop all the charges. What? What are we doing? Like, why are, like, I don't know what Johnathan Majors did in New York when he was younger, but they didn't remember, they didn't forget. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I remember you. Like, you fought my son in, at the law school y'all went to, or something. Like, bro, I don't know. It seemed like there was a mission to make sure that bro did not come out of that courtroom as Kang the Conqueror. That's all I know. There's like, bro, you can get whatever bag you want, but you're not getting the Disney bag. Like, I don't know. The whole shit just seems crazy. The case was a criminal trial as opposed to civil, meaning the burden of proof is higher for the jury, who had to find proof of guilt beyond reasonable doubt on each charge. Proof of guilt beyond reasonable doubt on each charge. In a statement after the verdict, whatever. Okay. Let's see. Jabari's lawyer says, we are gratified to see justice served by today's guilty verdict. Ms. Jabari testified publicly and truthfully, even though we know that she did not testify truthfully. If we go through and like, what? Even though reliving these traumatic events on the witness stand was obviously painful, we are grateful to see the jurors and judge for their attention and patience, and to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for their hard work and support. Ms. Jabari's resolve to see the case through to the end demonstrates her tremendous strength and resilience. The case that she didn't even want to go through with? What? And then it's like, oh no, a lot of victims don't want to go against cases on their abusers. It's like, it's just these types of situations are so hard to get in, because no matter, like, a good amount of people will be like, if you're on their side, then you're part of the problem. And it's like, yo, but there is so many other things that's going on in this situation other than it's not like he just came home drunk and just started whooping her ass. Like, that's not even close to what happened. He didn't even hit her. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a crazy situation. And then, unfortunately for every survivor like Miss Jabari who comes forward to hold their abuser accountable, there are many others who believe that they cannot. Like, see, this is one of those cases where it's like, we are going to make a point out of you. We're gonna nail you to the proverbial stake so we can let every other abuser in the world know that this is what happens if you mess up. It's like, what happens if you make that decision with a person that is not even guilty in the way that you're saying they are? Like, they're making, like, what? You're using him as a, what? Like, what? What are we doing? What? What? He did not testify during the trial and showed little emotion except for tearing up during closing arguments from his attorney, as she said his fear of what happens when a black man in America calls 911 came true. As part of his defense, Caudry claimed Jabari was the aggressor in the car, pointing to the fact that Major's coat was ripped and that Jabari is seen on surveillance video running after Majors down the street after the initial alleged altercation in the car. Jabari said that she ran after him to find out who sent the text. So even after the supposed assault, the only thing she still cared about was knowing who sent the damn text message. If that doesn't clarify this entire situation even more, I don't know what does. Chaudhry's father argued Jabari was uninjured after leaving the car and had gone revenge partying at a club where she bought champagne on Major's credit card, which is true, while still being able to use her right hand, also true, which she had said had been injured, which was a lie. Like, it's crazy how we can go through this every step of the way and literally, like, it still doesn't make sense. Like, you can't make it make sense. Jabari testified that she had sought help from 3 strangers on the street after the first altercation in the car, and they invited her to a club, which she accepted in order to seek comfort after that alleged incident. Caudry implied that Jabari had injured herself later after drinking throughout the evening and then returning to their shared apartment and taking sleeping pills that she basically OD'd on, and that's why he had to call the police in the first place, was because she was passed out on the floor from drinking and sleeping pills. What are we doing? Majors, who had stayed at a hotel after leaving the car, returned to the apartment in the morning and called 911 after reporting that he found Jabari unconscious. And now he's not going to jail, definitely, but now he was just found guilty. After all of that, he's now found guilty. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. In addition to the video, surveillance footage was also included footage of Jabari at the club. Evidence shown to the jury by prosecutors included photos Jabari took of her bruised hand and laceration behind her ear while back at the apartment, and body camera footage from officers when they arrived. Prosecutors also introduced a series of texts into evidence which could prove damaging to Major's reputation, as they pertain to several alleged incidents that happened during the course of Major's and Jabari's relationship. Prosecutors alleged a pattern of abuse, at which they explained why Jabari had not immediately told police officers that Majors had caused the injuries. And one of the texts sent by Majors and Jabari in September of 2022, so more than a year ago, they're taking these text messages from. Majors appeared to dissuade Jabari from seeking medical attention for an injury. How she sustained the injury was not discussed. Like, why? Why? They will ask you questions, and I don't think you actually protect. They will ask you questions, and I don't think you actually protect us. It could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something. That's what Major said. That's what he said. So this could mean this could mean anything. This could mean she came home drunk and they got in an argument and she busted her ass, and then she needed to go to the hospital because she wasn't sure what was going on because she was once again drunk and high off of sleep pills. Or it could mean that he did put his hands on her, though. You know what I mean? That is something that it could mean. But we don't know what it means is the point. Like, we don't know what this came from, what this spawned from, and why the hell don't we? They have the text messages already. Scroll up. Scroll up. Like, what was said before that? Like, what is happening? Was that the only message out of if that's the if that's the only thing they found out of years of them being together, mind you, because they've been together for like 2 years, I think. I think they've been together for about 2 years, maybe 3, because I'm pretty sure they met on set of him making Ant-Man Quantumania. Think about how long ago that had to actually be. So, like, or no. I don't think that's when they met. I just think that they were also together at that time too. So they've been together for a while, right? So you're telling me in all that time of them having a shit ton of messages back and forth, this one text message of him saying they gonna ask you questions and I don't think that you protect us, it could lead to an investigation. And we don't know what that means, but we taking that and we're saying he's for surely 100% an abuser now from that. Like, that confirms something? What? Who are these people that are on this thing? Like, the texts were deemed inadmissible at first, but then they were able to be shown to the jury following some cross-examination by Major's defense team. They were just, bro, it just seems like they were looking for moments to do certain things. I'm not gonna lie. They played a recording of Jabari and she made of Majors during an earlier argument, once again in September 2022, in which the actor admonished Jabari for drinking and then returning their home with her friend, and said she needs to live up to the standards of Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, and adding of himself, I am a great man. Okay, now look. This is kind of wild. I'm not going to lie. This part is a little wild. But I low-key understand what he's trying to say. I don't know if he said it in the best way, but hey, if he thinks he's a great man, more power to him. And if I think what he basically was saying boiled down to, I'm a great man, and I want you to be a great woman the same way that I am a great man. And great people to his point of view, great people do not stumble home drunk as hell with their friends from a bar. Now, is that wild? Yes. But, I mean, if they was married, would it still be wild that he didn't want his wife to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think a wife would want her husband stumbling home drunk with his friend that they just came back from the bar. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this too, from a different perspective. Him saying I'm a great man is wild. I don't know if I've ever, said those words in that way. But it's like, are you bad for thinking you a great man? I don't know. I think that's a lot of things that are just, hearsay after that. Oh, yeah, so they found him guilty off of all that information. They found him guilty of what he actually did do. He tried to de-escalate the situation in the wrong way. But, I mean, if that woman was coming at police officers and she was tripping and scratching and trying to grab at them, they would do a lot more than try to sit her back down in that car. And I'm not saying he's a cop. I'm just, once again, pointing out things that are going on here. I mean, like, the shit, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like her as a woman, if she ran up to a cop or was running after a cop the way she was running after, Johnathan Majors, would they have tried to de-escalate the situation in a better way? I don't think so. I think they probably would have slammed her on her face and put a knee into her back and then arrested her and took her to jail for trying to assault a police officer. But he's not a police officer, so I understand. But he didn't do that either. So, hey, I digress. So I don't know where self-defense comes into play, especially in these type of domestic violence situations where domestic violence is such a serious thing. There are women that are getting, abused and physically abused and mentally abused and all the other abuse that there are possible. So I understand having to look at every situation and every case with a fine tooth comb, but I don't think that happened here. I don't think that this case went over with a fine tooth comb. I think it was the most wide toothed comb that you could have went over a situation with, and it's very unfortunate to see the things occur the way that they occur, because unfortunately, no matter what this equals for a lot of people, I'm not even going to just say for a lot of black people or black men, but for a lot of men, period, it's going to equal, I don't call the police when it's a state of an emergency, because I might be the one that gets in trouble, because anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just crazy. You know what I mean? People like now, it's just crazy, because we see cases where people don't call the police at all. Then a person end up with a concussion, and then they die from a brain tumor or a brain aneurysm that they had from passing out, falling and shit. And you know, I don't know, G. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know how y'all feel about the situation, but the way I feel about the situation is that this is very sad for Johnathan Majors and his family, that and the people that are close to him and love him and probably know, the type of person that he is. Truthfully, his reputation is forever ruined. If not just for this case, also from, the message of, talking about, suicide in the way he did, and just all these other things. Like, yeah, his character and his reputation are forever tarnished from this. Even if the case turned out to be in his favor, his reputation and everything still would have forever been tarnished from that point on. So it's really sad to see these type of things kind of occur. And then for the people that are really out there abusing their partners in a serious way, they're kind of running free. And then you got these situations like this, and it's like, hey, since we can't catch every person, and we got you, and you're a celebrity, we're definitely about to make a point out of you. We're definitely about to use you as an example for the rest of the community to know, hey, don't do what this guy did, or you're going to get even worse than this. And this guy was innocent. Just imagine what we're going to do to you who's guilty. It's like, but damn, is that really what we doing out here? I don't know, man. But those are all my thoughts on the Johnathan verdict that came out today. I know I was talking for a long time, but I had a lot to say, and I just kind of needed to get all that out, because I haven't said anything at all in these situations. Really, I've just kind of been staying in the realm of the MCU and in the realm of, nerding out and all that type of stuff. But this is a serious situation, and I don't think that a lot of people understand what the ramifications of this mean for anyone, for other men, for people of color, for anything across the board. I don't think people understand what these type of things can do to hurt certain situations, because while a lot of people aren't on Twitter, those of you who are have obviously seen the immediate backlash and the immediately tarnishing of Johnathan Majors' name, like literally immediately as the verdict came out. Like, they were waiting with their racist remarks and all that. And it's like, yeah, that stuff's going to come no matter what. But in these situations, it just kind of opens a door for even more to come through. And it's very unfortunate. And, I just hope that we can see something, something change. And I hope that, Johnathan Majors, he's already we already seen that he's said these type of things that hint towards his mental health. So I do hope that he is taking everything he needs to do for his mental health in these types of situations, because in the face of adversity, when your entire character and person is is tarnished and, you know, your name is dragged through the mud and then immediately you're the butt of every joke. That shit is hard to go through when you're a regular human being like every other person in the world that's just so happened to make movies and be a good actor. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how we see him. But I try to view people as what they all are, human beings. And in this moment, he has to be going through a shit ton. So, you know, I hope his family is there with him. I hope his new girlfriend in the form of Megan Good is there by his side too. And I hope that, you know, I hope everything is okay over there. And I wish that the justice system took as much care about the actions that she took as much as they did about the actions that he took. It's kind of insane, but this is something that I talk to my son about all the time. And this is even something that a lot of people don't understand, but I try to teach my son all the time, like, you may not understand, but no matter what happens and no matter what you do, even if you're doing it out of a reaction to what someone else has done, you're always going to be the one that they look at. And the only reason I know that is because I went through it growing up. Like, even in situations of being innocent, everyone looks at you and they're like, you're obviously guilty, you know? And like I said at the beginning of this, the media, the juries, the judge, and the general audience, they all had made their mind up before the trial had ever started about what was going on with this situation. He was very much guilty until proven innocent, instead of innocent until proven guilty. And I've seen that very clearly from the response from a lot of people. It's like, yep, I knew it. See, I knew it. I knew he was a piece of shit. Or, yep, I knew he was guilty. Yep. And it's like, damn, it just shows that, you know, that's just what people see. That's how people see people, you know, that's how people see people. And it's something that I think we have to be very in tune with more than the regular person does. And I hope that this case does not go toward being used in a negative and or derogatory way for people to attack anyone else in any way, shape, or form. So I guess that'll be like the last thing I say about this in like a quote unquote official manner, because I do want to stick to nerding out and, you know, having a good time and all that type of stuff. But in good conscience, knowing what really happened within this thing and within this case, and literally watching it unfold and seeing so many people be uninformed about what's happening, and then, you know, and then turn around and act like they knew the whole time what was going on. It's just really kind of insane to see, and really sad to see people take the stances that they did and chose to take. So yeah, like I said, that'll be the last thing I kind of say about this in an official manner. I don't really like to talk about quote unquote controversial things. But this is something that, I mean, you can't talk about Kang without talking about Johnathan Majors. So we got that out of the way. So we're going to get into Kang in just a second. But before we do, if you guys haven't already, make sure you go and follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. We're posting stuff on there often. You can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all the stuff that I talk about, all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing I may be partaking in at that particular time. And then, of course, you know, we got the weekly podcast where you can always tune in and check out the newest potty waddy from your boy. So definitely appreciate y'all for all that stuff. If you haven't dropped a like on the stream, drop a like on the stream. And, of course, before we get into nerding out and talking about Kang the Conqueror, if you guys ain't done it already, make sure you go and grab some popcorn.
Hi, my name is Dominique Pruitt, and I started Don's Bon Gourmet Popcorn LLC in the summer of 2021 to introduce delicious and unique flavored popcorn not found anywhere else in the world. Why, you ask? because I make it in my home with love, just for you. We offer over 10 flavors and are continuously creating new flavors that can be customized to any color or taste for your next event, party, or fundraiser. So go find yourself to our website and find a bombastic flavor of popcorn at donsbombgourmetpopcorn.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn.
That is right. Make sure y'all go get you some of Dom's Bomb's Gourmet Popcorn, where the popcorn is always bomb and gourmet. And of course, it's made by Dom. All right, y'all. Now it's time to nerd out and talk a little bit more about this situation from a nerd perspective, and talk about what this may mean for the MCU and all that good stuff. But before we do, we will be taking a quick, brief intermission. I gotta go tell my littles good night, so I will play the intro roll again. Go and tell the kids goodnight, and then we'll get back here and get into all that nerdy stuff. So I'll see you after this. right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Well, we already know we. Thank you for staying with me through that brief intermission. Let's jump into chat. Y'all been talking to me, so it's time for me to talk back. Oof, well, that's that, I guess. Man, it sure is. Good evening to everyone except Johnathan Majors. It's crazy, Marisu. You're on demon time. Terrible news. Yeah, it's definitely terrible news. I agree with that. Major's career is absolutely dead. Oh, yeah, it's over. His career is over. Just look at Johnny Depp, and his case wasn't even criminal. Facts. His case wasn't even criminal, and his career is over. And not only that, I mean, yeah, he still got that, the spray, like the perfume, not the perfume, but the cologne ad or the cologne commercial and stuff like that. But still, he's probably not going to be in a movie anytime soon. But then you got, Amber Heard over there about to be in Aquaman 2. It's kind of crazy, the shit that's going on out here in these streets. He's unfortunately done, shaking my head. Warner Discovery is such a shadier company in general. The Ezra situation is just one of the many scandals they tolerate. Yeah, facts. His friends let him down by not having the hard conversations with him. Whew, man. They definitely should have. Like, for sure. I hope we get some jurors to speak out on their reasoning. I also want to know the reasoning behind their reasoning. Does it mention the name of the prosecutor? Yeah. Let me see. Hold on, Marisu. Jabari. Oh, wait. Jabari took witness on the charges against Majors. Ross Kramer. In a statement after the verdict, Ross Kramer and attorney. Yeah, right? Because her attorney is the prosecutor. So, yeah, Ross Kramer, I believe. So, John's just straight out of Marvel. Yeah, they fired him hours after the verdict. I don't like Kang anyway? That's crazy. I worry the takeaway from all this is think twice before calling 911 an emergency. That's been the takeaway for years. That was the takeaway a lot longer before this situation happened. So this is just a situation of solidifying that even more. If this had been any other DA's office other than Manhattan, the case likely would have been dropped for budget reasons. They have more resources than any other jurisdiction in the country. Yeah, so they got time for all the petty bullshit. That's just what that means. Like taking a misdemeanor so small to a trial. Like, we're essentially going to trial and having all of this stuff like publicized over an argument about a text message from a relationship that's not even 5 years strong. What what are we doing? What are we doing? This is high school principal shit. Like, bro wouldn't even have got expelled if he was in school for this. Like, if this situation happened at school, like, and like this, like some girl was in it and he like picked her up and like put her somewhere, like just like she was coming at him and then he just grabbed her and then picked her up and moved her and then turned around and ran away. Bro wouldn't even have got expelled from school for that. This is crazy. This is literally high school shit. This isn't even. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, the jury is the jury. Bruh's been found guilty, and it's not like we can just be like, bruh, no, he's actually really innocent forever. No, no, it doesn't matter what we say. He was found guilty, and that's what it's gonna say forever, and that's why he's gonna be guilty forever. You know what I mean? That's what it equals. He was found guilty of assault, so he's guilty of assault forever. It's over. His career's over, man. It sucks, but I really hope you feel me. His career's not over, but as soon as Marvel fired him, that was it. It didn't matter who else fired him because Marvel was sticking by his side through the trial because of what happened with Johnny Depp and all that other stuff and how it came out, how bro really wasn't in the wrong at all. I guess, man, it's kind of wild. But what does this mean for the MCU? So let's get into that, right? So Johnathan Majors has officially been fired from Marvel, from Disney. So officially, we are in a time of unknowing knowing about the MCU. We already talked serious about this, so now we're going to talk nerd about this. Now let's put our nerd MCU brain on. Let's look at what's going on, and let's kind of think about where we could go next within the MCU. So, I'm just going to start this off by saying it's already been told to me that Avengers Kang Dynasty is no longer being called Avengers Kang Dynasty. That will go and have a name change. And right now they're just calling it Avengers 5 internally. Not only are they only calling it Avengers 5, but it should still be centered around Kang the Conqueror. So Kang the Conqueror is actually not going to be out of the MCU. It is only Johnathan Majors that is out as Kang. So Kang will be recast at some point, and we will have a different Kang the Conqueror going into the future of the MCU and moving into, Secret Wars, and not Kang Dynasty, but something else, because there's probably a lot of stuff going on with Kang Dynasty and the name, and Kang and Johnathan Majors and all of that stuff of what's going on. So, whenever we do have Kang show up again, it's not going to be Johnathan Majors, and that sucks. I'm not going to lie, but it just so happens that it is literally the best character that you could possibly have to be multiple people, right? So the thing that I'm kind of looking at is, instead of try to find who can be that one Kang, lean into this shit completely and just have there be a literal multiverse of Kangs, and every single one of them is different. Like, we have a whole bunch of different types of Kangs now. That's kind of my take on it, because in some shows and even in the comics, I'm pretty sure there are female versions of Kang the Conqueror. There's alien versions, as we saw from that post-credit scene. You know what I mean? He was all of the Kangs, yes, but there were also alien Kangs and these type of Kangs and those types of Kangs, right? So we can literally tell this from a narrative story point of, hey, this is why this Kang this Kang isn't around anymore. And quite frankly, it won't be too difficult. If you just kind of, tie it all together with a really nice bow on it, it works out pretty well, actually. So that's kind of the case of where I think they're going to go next, is try their best to lean into the situation. At least that's what I want them to do. I definitely want them to lean into it. Can we put up a list of upcoming projects in order? Too many for me to remember. I don't even know if there's an up-to-date project list, because I know things have been moved around, shifted, delayed. What is it? MCU projects in order. MCU upcoming. Okay, I need like an actual list, not just like them saying it back to back. I need a full list. Here we go. Can I get a image of this shit? Damn. There are also Kangs at different ages. You could just have 20-year-old Kang be the important one now, or a grandpa Kang. Exactly. Facts. Exactly. Echo, Ironheart, Agatha, Darkhold Diaries, Daredevil, Deadpool 3, Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Blade, Fantastic Four. Yeah. Yep. Avengers 5 and then Secret Wars are just the other two, I believe. But for as far as the movies, Deadpool 3, Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Blade, Fantastic Four, Kang, and then Secret Wars. Well, not Kang Dynasty anymore, but now Avengers 5. Man. And after seeing him eat up Loki season 2 like that, I think it's going to be really hard to see anyone else come in and play Kang the way that Jonathan Majors was playing Kang. I don't think that's going to be I don't think that's something that we're going to see anytime. I don't know. I don't know who could do that, to be honest, but I'm here for whatever it is. I'm literally here for whatever it is. Oh, and then we also have the Okoye, not the Okoye series, but the anime. Okay, maybe you guys don't know about this, but this is something that was like quote unquote leaked by Straw Hat Goofy, who is a TikToker that was invited to watch What If, that's coming out this week, that we will be watching and doing watch parties for, by the way. But they watched What If season 2. I think they watched like 2 episodes of that. They also showed them Spider-Man, your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I mean, that animated show. They showed them an episode of that. They also showed them an episode of X-Men 97, and then they also showed them some of a new animated Wakanda series that's supposed to be coming out on Disney Plus. So there is a shit ton of content that we really don't even know about that's going to be coming at us, and it's going to be crazy. And all of these ones have different animation styles. They're not all the same. X-Men 97 is on par with how it was looking from the original X-Men 97. Let me see if I can find that video from Straw Hat Goofy so we can actually check that out. So you can know exactly what's going on. I don't want to. Whoa, what the? Straw Hat. Yo, come on. Oh, here we go.
I am so fucking hyped right now.
Whoa. Relax. All right, here we go. He's so hype, you guys, so just be ready. Oh. There it is.
I am so fucking hyped right now. Y'all have no idea. The shit I just saw.
In the parking lot at Walt Disney Studios.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
I am so fucking hyped right now. Y'all have no idea. The shit I just saw. Well, I'm currently in the parking lot at Walt Disney Studios, and they were showing us the first 2 episodes of What If Season 2. Afterwards, they were like, yeah, we got something to show you that nobody's ever seen before. Bro, why did they bust out footage for not only What If Season 2, but they had footage for Spider-Man Freshman Year, which was announced like 2 years ago, X-Men 97, and it looks good. They also released footage for a new animated show that I didn't even know was happening, or at least I forgot it was happening. A new Wakanda show called Eyes of Wakanda. Eyes of Wakanda! And when I tell you that Spider-Man, X-Men, and Eyes of Wakanda was looking fire, it was looking fire. X-Men 97, it looks the same to the 90s animated series, but it's updated. It's different. It has like an anime feel to it, and that gives it like a more crisp, fluid animation style, and it looks gorgeous. There's a scene where Wolverine is riding on the back of Cyclops while Cyclops rides a motorcycle, and it was pretty dope. Spider-Man Freshman Year looks a lot like that one scene in Across the Spider-Verse where Spot crosses over into like the comic book universe. It's like that new cell animation that looks really good too. But Eyes of Wakanda, It's a 3D animated show. It's about like the citizens and the warriors of Wakanda. It looks great. The color shading. It's the only reason why I'm showing M'Baku is because like there's nothing else being shown out there. I'm about to be all over this goddamn show when it comes out. Swear to God. Ooh. Yeah, but I don't know when these trailers are releasing. I hope soon because I want everybody to see them. But that was a good surprise. I am so fucking hyped right now. Y'all have no idea.
That's dope, yo. Like, that's dope. I am so ready for all of it. That all sounds amazing. I was so hyped when I heard that. I was like, oh, what? Let's get it. Like, what? Eyes of Wakanda sounds amazing. You know, I immediately was talking to Beezy, like, yo, Beezy, what's Eyes of Wakanda? I was like, bro, is that the Game of Thrones style show that we're supposed to be getting? And he was like, nah, that's gonna be the Okoye show, but this is gonna be about something completely different. I was like, oh, okay. So we're gonna be getting in a spicy area right now, yo. We're getting in a spicy area, but Doom's out. My bad. A lot of people want Doom to replace Kang, and I think that's lame. I think that's a lame thing for people to want. Whenever people want these things, it's like, on one hand, yeah, fan service means a lot, and yeah, listening to the audience is a thing that should be done. But it's like, bro, everything needs to make sense, straight up narratively, you know. So, I think we're gonna have a good time, getting into it. But as far as it goes with this man, Kang, and what's gonna be happening with him, honestly, the way that I feel about it all is like I said before, Kang is the perfect person to be, you know, changed into someone else. Like, he is the perfect person in through like the multiverse that is directly tied to being a hell of a lot of different versions of himself. Like, he is the person with a whole bunch of variants. You know, he's that guy. All of his variants are basically him. They're all Kang in different ways. So, like I was saying earlier, it would be really dope to see Marvel basically take that thing that we know about Kang already and lean into it. Since they have to recast anyway, lean into the recast. Get a whole bunch of different people. I've seen people say John Boyega. Okay, get him as a variant. I heard people say freaking Denzel Washington. Okay, get him as a variant as well. You know, someone said, oh, I wish Chuck Iwuji could do it, but he was just the High Evolutionary. Hey, that's even better. That makes it even make more sense as to why he would be a variant of Kang in a dimension where the High Evolutionary isn't High Evolutionary, he's Kang. That makes sense. Let's make that happen too. Like, let's just lean into it fully. Why not? And you know what? It could even be tied even further to where we just were within Loki, and it can make sense, right? Think about what just happened in Loki. The reason why we didn't see a lot of any of the other Kangs is why. Because literal Kang, the one that we had, dang. Give me a second. The reason why we didn't see a lot of Kangs before was because the Kang we had, or He Who Remains, was literally stopping all the other Kangs from coming through. So just reach that out a little bit further. He was stopping every Kang in the entire multiverse from being created and in the entire omniverse from being created, and was only stopping the people that were variants of what he wanted to look like and what he wanted to be seen as the main Kang. And then now that the Tree of Life and Yggdrasil and all that stuff is happening, and now that the loom is broken, it has branched off into the omniverse, into the greater multiverse of all these other multiverses, which, you know, gives you, you know, the Madam Web stuff and the Spider-Verse stuff and all of that. You know, even give them some Kangs now, you know, in those universes somewhere, somehow, and just let it all, you know, let it all just blend in together, and let it all just, you know, kind of expand into more and more Kangs and more Kangs of different variants and types and looking in different ways. It's a lot of possibilities, you know. Having those just spreading that out a little bit further doesn't seem too hard. But damn, were they doing a good job of letting it be known that this man was going crazy as Kang, and he did go crazy as Kang. And it sucks to see, you know, Johnathan Majors be out of the role because he brought a certain type of nuance to the character in a way. But hopefully, whoever picks up the role in his wake can do, you know, as good of a job as he has done. And the fact is, that's why I really think we should just spread it out to a shitload of different Kangs, because then in that way, now we could just, you know, have a whole bunch of different Kangs and actually be like, okay, this is my favorite Kang. Well, this is my favorite Kang. And we already have Spider-Man looking different, a whole bunch of other variants looking different. It was already a little weird, you know, why like certain people like Loki and all these other people had their own different variants and stuff like that. But certain characters' variants look entirely different, but some people's variants are all the same. Like, all of that stuff is super weird, and it's super interesting, and it's something that we could definitely dive into and talk about more, you know? And especially now that we're in this space of, okay, new Kang, so what does that actually mean now? You know, what does this actually mean now? And, you know, I had heard something about there being a contract with Johnathan Majors that only allows him to play as Kang and no one else. But according to Mike Beasley, when I had, you know, said it today about when I was talking about it, he was like, I really haven't heard anything about that being an actual fact type of thing. So I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, so it's very possible that that's not the truth, and we could have these other people coming in as Kang, or it could be that they want to buy him out of his contract, or it could be that, you know, it was stated in his contract that if he got into any issues like this, it was going to be chitty chitty bang bang, and he was going to, you know, and then they were going to be able to do whatever they needed to do going forward with that. So it's just really interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Armor Wars, Shang-Chi 2, Spider-Man 4, Avengers 5, and Secret Wars. Yeah, there's a shit ton of movies and stuff that's supposed to be coming out. So the first one of those Kangs was probably going to be so the first one of those Kang was probably going to be in would be F4, and there's plenty of time between now and then. That's very true. There is plenty of time between now and then. I doubt he was in Deadpool, but he could have been. It's very likely he was in Deadpool just because of how Deadpool goes and how Deadpool is with, like, the entire universe. You know what I mean? And then Fantastic Four, for sure, that makes sense. Because I believe the Pharaoh Kang was supposed to be the villain, if I'm not mistaken, for that Fantastic Four movie. So that definitely sucks that we don't get to see that now. That's the one that I was looking forward to Johnathan Majors playing the most, is Pharaoh Kang. I'm not going to lie. Oh, man, that's the one. Ramatut. I was waiting for Ramatut, like, patiently and excitingly. So it definitely sucks that we don't get to see him. That we just don't get to see that come to fruition anymore. Definitely just heartbreaking, man. That X-Men art has me drooling. For real, it does sound like it's about to be crazy fire. I'm not going to lie. I want to start seeding an apocalypse story. You can blend it with everything going on from Moon Knight to Eternals and many loose ends between. Yeah, I agree with that apocalypse thing. I think they're just it's hard for them to do apocalypse because apocalypse was just done. But it does make hella sense for them to have it, like, mentioned. But at the same time, they can't mention it because then people are going to be like, oh, does it connect to the other apocalypse? Like, oh. But, you know? And it's actually funny that Oscar Isaac is Apocalypse and he's also Moon Knight. Apocalypse. Ooh, Moonpocalypse. Whoa, that kind of goes hard. Moonpocalypse. Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. But for real, like, they could easily blend it all together, tie it to Kang and the Loom, and since Kang was doing the Loom stuff, that stopped all the other variants of Kang from being able to be created as well. Now that the Loom is destroyed and Loki has become the tree of life in the form of Yggdrasil for the multiverse, that now creates an entire new wave of things and possibilities where there are even more universes for Kang to manifest in many different ways. Because I mean, look at it. It shows. I mean, it even went as far as to show us Victor Timely, a variant of Kang the Conqueror, who was not going to become Kang the Conqueror, that they were going to turn into a Kang the Conqueror. You know what I mean? Like, so that just goes to show that not every variant that looks like that is a Kang. Basically, is my point. You know, even though so far every variant we've seen looks like that, since they put him back and Victor Timely will go to live his normal life or whatever the hell goes on there, that dude will still grow up to look like He Who Remains, Kang the Kang that we've seen so far. But he won't be a Kang. He won't be a He Who Remains. He won't be any of those things. He'll just be a freaking scientist dude. That gyps people, you know, possibly, you know, or whatever, or just a candle maker. He might even still be a candle maker and not even be a scientist of any kind at all, because that was even fabricated from the, you know, the sacred timeline, or from to veer away from the sacred timeline, if you will. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of different things going on, and you know. Oh, damn. I think it's just there's a lot of possibilities that we haven't tapped into yet, especially with just even seeing how Kang is, like, literally how, look at Loki. There was literally a black Loki, a kid Loki, an old man Loki, and none of those were the same. There was an alligator Loki. So we know we got Spider-Man and all the different variants of Spider-Man. We know that, you know, even the characters be in the form of superheroes come in variants. So there's a variant of Captain America, where there's a Captain America that's Agent Carter. There's a variant that's this person. You know, there's probably a universe where there's a variant that Sam Wilson was always Captain America and there was never a Steve Rogers, like, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. And in that way, it also spawns to Kang the Conqueror. So it's very possible that they just tell it narratively like that, and then they even capitalize on Kang Dynasty being the movie to show that even happening, you know? That's what sounds like the best idea to me, but that's just me kind of spitballing and just going off the top of my head. It's like, hey, why not we do this, please? Yes, because this makes sense. Like, we have characters, we have these other things that are going on. We got to make a right decision. We got to make sure that everything goes smoothly. But how do we do this without putting forth, you know, these movies to explain things differently? Because really, they don't have to explain it too much more. I mean, I explained that in like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, they can explain it pretty easily, especially with all the stuff that's already going on. Oh, huge side note, by the way, I really want to go back and find this in the stream, but do you guys remember when I was ranting about the difference between the Spider-Verse and the Web of Destiny versus the multiverse and the Loom and all that stuff? And do you guys remember when I drew out both of the different universes and how they look, and then I put them together? It was Yggdrasil. Like, that's like, I knew about it before I even knew what was going on type of vibe. So I'm hoping that is exactly what's going to be happening, in the form of Yggdrasil comes through and, oh my gosh, you know, and just starts going in. Like Yggdrasil is the Web of Destiny and everything connecting. Like, that's what makes beautiful an amazing sense, and I hope that is what it ends up becoming. And you know, yeah, that would be dope. Like imagine the spot stuff somehow have leading into everything that's going on with Loki and all of them too. You know, all of it just makes it better. All of it just, yeah, I'm excited. So I'm gonna go back and look for that when that happened. Because I know we were talking. Was it a Loki stream? Because I know I pulled out the Paint app and then I started like, okay, this is this and this is what this is and that's that and this is that, you know? It's been almost 10 years since that movie. Damn. Really? I have a theory headcanon that Loki season 2 was the real Ragnarok. Technically it was. I mean, technically. I mean, it can even be seen as the multiversal Ragnarok because there has to be a Ragnarok on every realm in one way or another. So just in this realm of the multiverse, this was that Ragnarok that Loki was kind of doomed to be a part of. That makes sense, though. That's a good theory headcanon to have. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like it was a Loki stream. I'm pretty sure it was. And I was just kind of explaining the multiverse. And then I literally drew the tree. Like, it was insane. Because I was like, yo, because all these things are going like this. And then that was the trunk of the tree. And then I drew the web of the multiverse. And I was like, and then this is right here. And I was like, what happens when these things connect? And then it looks like a freaking tree, like in my, because I haven't seen it again. I just know what it looked like from replaying that moment in my brain on DVR. You know what I mean? Like I have it on demand right here. So as I'm drawing it with my mouse, I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit! I drew Yggdrasil before I even knew that this was gonna be a thing and happening. Like holy hell, this is awesome. I was like, that's awesome. If I could go back and find that, that would be super cool. So I'm going to have to go back to like every Loki stream and just look at the end of them. Because I wholeheartedly remember. Wholeheartedly. Like, god damn. Oh. Whoa. It was 2 separate streams, I think. Oh, was it? That makes sense, actually. Oh, excuse me. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm going to have to find it for real. Because I 100% remember being like, yo, what the hell is happening here? In my brain. Like, when I saw it. Because I 100% saw the tree, like, in my brain. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. One stream you explained how the Spider-Verse was larger than the multiverse, and the next week I had the theory that's why Peter variants look different. Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's when I said, oh, so that's the multiverse. Yes. I remember. Because it's like we've been it's like there's been these little strands like that are like boom and touching into the wider. That's literally what I said. I think that's what I said. There's these strands that are like touching into the wider multiverse, and that's why we have these Peters that crossed over into this multiverse looking different. Like, yeah. I remember that. Yes, I remember. You are correct, Marisu. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because we were nerding out. I was explaining multiverses and I was explaining the omniverse theory and all of that shit. We were going, we were deep on those episodes. It was Loki was deep. Super unfortunate we didn't get to finish that together. No cap. Because man, I was nerding out and I was excited. I was like, hey, wait, I don't think I've ate dinner yet. I don't know why I just thought about that, but. And Kevin Feige was furiously taking notes. Man, dead ass. Kevin Feige was like, oh man, he's cooking. Wait, hold on. Like, it's honestly insane. It's honestly insane, like, how much stuff I be, like, theorizing and nerding out about that eventually does come true in one way or another. It's insane how many times it's happened over the course of the years, literally. I just like how Loki finally got his throne, and I love how he was furious with it, and then I love how his horn, or his horns and his helmet and his crown was the piece, the time, like the same thing, like the same type of material, for lack of better words, that Kang had as the timepiece. It was like that same type of cracked looking shit, and then all the cracks from everywhere turned, like, of all the cracks of gold turned into the gold that then went onto his throne. Like, we're cooking with the symbolism. We're cooking with the visual storytelling, man. We're cooking with it. I was not ready, but I was ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't ready, but I was. Like, just sheer cinematic. Like Loki has the best visual cinema we've ever seen in the MCU history. Like, it's insane. Honestly, it's insane. Like, wow. For real. I love it, though. If you like it, I love it. For real. Whew. All right. Something else that I was thinking about, something that we were talking about in Beezy's chord also, was like how like R-rated stuff needs to be R-rated. You know? Like, R-rated stuff needs to stay R. Like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and all that. Like, yeah. Do we know when Hiddleston returns? No doubt for Secret Wars at the latest. Secret Wars. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the TVA and what's it called? Oh, in Deadpool? Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to see the TVA in Deadpool. But other than that, I don't think we're going to see any, like, remnants or relation to that. You know? And the chemistry between Tom Hiddleston and Jonathan Majors was insane. Like, and I definitely feel like there was some more story between Kang and Ravonna. You know, Ravonna Rensaya. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot more everywhere. But yeah, man. And then we're gonna probably have Sylvie playing that role. So it'll be crazy to see. I feel like a lot was left unfinished in Loki. I think Marisu, you know what? I feel like we're gonna always feel like something is left unfinished with these projects from here on out. I believe that's just where we are within the term of the MCU because we're always gonna get an answer. We're always gonna get an answer to a question, but there will always be a lingering of something bigger happening until we get to that moment. So I feel like a lot of that is never gonna disappear, and I think it's only gonna get more like definitive, if anything, other than with the Marvel Spotlight stuff, because you know they're obviously trying to do something different there. But even with the Marvel Spotlight stuff, it still overarcs into their own shows and movies and stuff there. You know, it makes sense, but there's just gonna be a lot of different things that are like going on. You know, so we're always gonna have that sense of damn, that I don't feel satisfied, but there's never going to be a fulfillment because there's this wider universe that's also taking place that this story is in. So we're always going to be going to that next big thing, and it's lingering from project to project purposefully. So it's now become, for some reason, we've kind of like took it as a bad thing, but that's kind of what makes the buildup even better to when we get to that moment is that it's like, oh yeah, we're here on the ground level with freaking Daredevil and Spider-Man, and it's awesome. But lingering is this multiversal war that is on the brink of destroying everything that we know. So it's really these dope type of things, and the way that I always explain it is like life, right? Like just normal life that we live. A lot of people don't know what's going on in the Middle East. They don't know about the Israel's, like the Israel stuff that's going on. They don't know. Like a lot of people weren't knowing about what was going on in Ukraine when that was happening. Like a lot of people weren't up to game on that, even though it was happening. And a lot of us, it felt like the whole world knew, but honestly, they didn't. You know, there's a lot of people that didn't know what was going on and were just kind of saying stuff to say stuff and just, you know, like. That's how life works. People don't know stuff. Like not every person watches the news every day. Not every person knows every single thing that's kind of going on within our own universe that we live in now. Like let alone like I don't really know what's going on next town over, let alone in the next city, you know, next like the next country over type of vibe. I'm not watching their news. So there's all these different types of things that are starting to happen within the MCU in these different places, like outside of New York now. We're not just all in New York, we're in LA, we're in all these other places. So it's like there's a whole universe that we're a part of now, and that feeling of damn, where the hell is the answer? It's like we're waiting for it. Like exactly, we don't have it yet. You know, it's crazy. The love stories got way pushed to the wayside. Got way pushed to the wayside. Yeah, that's true. Shit, you're right. See, yeah, for real. I'm just saying. Sup, bro, Venger? Yo, what's up with it? Word? How you doing? I hope you're having a marvelous Monday. That'll happen in Wheel of Time eventually, too. RJ wanted his world to feel alive and beating when the story was over. See? That's exactly the thing. It's like, okay, that's my biggest thing that I love is when a story is completed and it's like, okay, I got a glimpse of these characters' lives. Like, I didn't just read a story. I got a glimpse into this world, into this universe that is living and breathing, And even when I'm not watching the world, it's still making something happen. There's shit still going on in the world. Even when I'm not looking, there's still things that are happening at every moment. That is when I feel like there's a really good story that's told. Is when the end comes and I'm like, damn, I want more. I want to know what they do next, because they obviously do something next, because that's what we do as humans, as people. You know, the person that you saw at the grocery store or when you were driving today, it's like they didn't just, you know, that power didn't just boot down and just be put toward another processor to generate the world a little bit more when you kept driving, you know? Like, no, that person left and went and did their own life and went and did their own shit, and now they're at home the same way you're at home now, or they're at work, or you never know. And so that's what the dopest thing about stories is being able to get that glimpse in and then ask, like, damn, what did they do next? You know? Like, have you ever seen a person and you'd be looking at them and you're like, damn, where did you come from? Like, what, like people watching basically, and just kind of try to figure out what this person's story might be. It's a reason why we do stuff like that, is because we want those glimpses into reality in a different way. Who will be Kang now? Again, I've seen a lot of people say John Boyega. I've seen people say Chukwudi Iwuji. I've seen people say Denzel Washington. I've seen someone say, what is his name? Anthony Hodgkins. Is that what his name? Hodgkins? Bro that played Hawk in Black Adam. I saw people say him. And my vote is E, all of the above. Like, put every single person that anybody says to be cast as Kang, yes. Like, hey, come read this. You're good. Let's do it. And then now we can go into the wider multiverse and start having these other variants that don't all look the exact same. Because as on one hand, it did make sense as why the Kangs all look the same. On the other hand, it made zero sense at all as to why all the Kangs look the same. So, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it when it comes to Kang and who may be cast as him. But who do you want to see cast as Kang? Your guess is as good as anyone else's. It's crazy, but that's true. They're not. Disney wasn't looking at anyone currently. Like, no, they weren't looking at anyone specifically, but now they are. And it's very possible, you know what I mean, that Kang wasn't gonna show up again until Kang Dynasty, you know? That's super possible to be a thing. So they might have until whenever that movie was gonna come out to cast him. Because we were just saying, like, he may be in Deadpool and he may be in Fantastic Four. But realistically, it's possible that he's not in anything until, the Kang Dynasty, when we realize, oh shit, this wider multiverse is actually doing a whole bunch of other stuff that we didn't know. I say Daniel Kaluuya. Yep, throw him in. Throw him in there. That's genius, casting multiple actors for the role. It'll dilute undue attention on any one of them. Yeah, and then you also get a variety of Kangs that we already were getting in the form of that, So we just spread out what he was doing with the Loom and the multiverses and not having all the universes lead to Kang, to we want all of the multiverses to not lead to anyone that doesn't look like me, because I'm low-key narcissistic type of vibe, which is kind of unfortunate to have to go that way, but it works. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bruh. He stopped every other Kang from being created because he wanted himself to be Prime Kang, and the only way everything led to He Who Remains is if none of the other Kangs were alive. If none of the other Kangs were, there or whatever, So it only makes sense to me. So just get to casting and just cast as many people as you can as Kang the Conqueror. Like forget like we already put all our eggs in one basket. That's out the window. Let's put our eggs everywhere. Like let's just spread them eggs and get them cracking and crack the yolk. You know what I'm saying? Let's just make it happen. Just hey, you want to play Kang? All right, let's do it. I mean, obviously get good actors to play him, but still, just get a shit ton of them. Instead of just having one, have like 5, and you just have 5 variants of a whole bunch of different Kang. And that's probably the first idea that they had was to do something like that. But then they were just like, it would be so much doper to have him just play 50 different people, like which was the better idea. You know what I mean? But we can't have that idea no more. So let's just move on to the next best idea. You know Marvel is never ever gonna give us another press conference where they announce 20 future projects. Oh yeah, that's out of the that's out of the water, and it should have been out of the water a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Like for real, that's not something that they should do. Like they should really stick to doing the phase type of thing and trying to just stick to what those phases will be about and try to have those smaller contained stories that actually still will make sense in the wider range. That's not something that they should have ever took away. I was really, really disappointed when Kevin Feige had said, we're kind of moving away from there being phases. I don't want that at all. But if we're going to move away from there being phases, I'm okay with there being sub-studios in the form of Marvel Legends or Marvel Spotlight like we already have in that MCU Max that we had talked about before. Like if we're going to do it in the form of that to where we have MCU content that is, we have MCU content that is canon, but it doesn't take place in the wider thing, and we know that off the rip. That makes sense, Let's have this logo for this. Let's have this logo for that. Let's call this Marvel this. We got MCU Max. That's for all of our R-rated stuff. We got Marvel Spotlight. That's for all of our TV shows. We have, Marvel whatever. Marvel Legends. That's for all of our breakdowns of everything that's going on. We got Marvel Max. That's, everything else. We got chicken Marvel, like just all of the things. It just makes way more sense to spread those out and have more variety and for just to get it across the board and just to get it understood. Like, yo, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. Let's make sure we know what we're doing. But yeah, those are kind of all of my thoughts about the Kang situation and about the Jonathan Majors situation. It's definitely something that was crazy to see unfold across these last couple of weeks, months, and now today to have all of it, accumulate to what we see in front of us now. It's definitely super unfortunate. Mari Sue, I mean, if you don't want to talk to me, it's okay, but hey, get a Discord, yo. Like, I don't know. Go to the library, log in on that computer, create the account, you know what I'm saying? Have your brother create an account for you. Like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? At this point, it's unacceptable. We about to go into a new year, Mari. So we about to be in 2024, and you still ain't in the Discord. That's crazy. You got to have, like, one of the oldest follow ages around here. You know what I mean? Come on, Mari Sue. And I'm going to keep putting you on blast because I feel a little played about it. Because you be in here faithfully, chilling, talking. Sometimes you be the only one in here talking to me. But as soon as it come to Discord, you like, what I want a Discord for? So you can talk to me about your stupid ass book? I don't want to hear that shit. Like, damn, girl. Damn, girl. What's up with that? What's up with that? Mari Sue? Do I have to make you an account? I will. I'll have Remy make it right now. I'll have Remy make you an account and send you the login information. I feel like being able to talk to you about my book is that next thing that I need to get propelled forward. You know what I'm saying? But hey, If you don't like me, just say that. No, I'm just playing. But with all that being said, yo, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and vibing with your boy today. I'm just giving you a hard time, Marsu. You know it's all love. Yo, I'm terribly lazy. I'm so terribly lazy when it comes to new things. That's crazy. Well, but you ain't got no social media stuff, or you don't want to say a lot. See, that's what the thing. You know what I feel like? I feel like you're a very private person, and all you got is like a social media or something, but you don't want to say your social media stuff here in the chat. So, you know what I mean? So no one knows what your stuff is. You know what? I know you're like a old lady though. So you probably just have like a Facebook. You know what I mean? Or like an email. You might have like a MySpace or a Reddit. I got all of them, so just let me know what the username is somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Do I need to make a text now number? Like, what's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Me, you, and Remy need to get in that group chat? Like, what's happening? Man, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm definitely about to read. I'm ready to read to get ready for this weekend. I am incredibly private. I'm literally in therapy over it. Oh, okay, Marisu. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep pushing, but only respectfully, because I understand that that means you're trying to work on widening your boundaries and working on doing things like that. So, maybe me poking you about it is just the thing you need to help you be a little bit more open. Talk to your therapist about it. See what they say. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Tell him, there's this really obnoxious dude that's been just trying to get me to talk to him about his stupid ass book for like 4.5 years, and I want nothing to do with him because I don't want him to know who I am. He doesn't even know my real name, and I don't want him to. You know what I'm saying? Just tell her everything. You know what I mean? Just break it down. It's all love, Marisu. Yo, you're definitely dope. I definitely appreciate you. You're always here. You always having a good time. And the dad jokes be coming through too. But that's why, I'm trying to lock in with you because I really do appreciate you. And I want to express my appreciation in more ways than just telling you straight up. You know what I'm saying? So tap in with me whenever you do feel so inclined. I'll be patiently waiting as I do. You know what I'm saying? But just know. But with all that being said, I definitely appreciate each and every one of you for being here today and vibing out with your boy. We have talked about a lot of wild things today. I'm not going to lie to you. We talked about a whole bunch of wild things today, but only pertaining to one thing, really, and that is this whole Johnathan Major situation. So I'm hoping that we get to see, Kang the Conqueror continue to be who he is now. And in the future, I'm excited to see who he may, who may be recast there or whatever. This week is going to be wild. We got Rebel Moon, we got What If, we got Percy Jackson. There's a whole bunch of things popping out today. You know what I mean? So, it's gonna be popping for real. So we're gonna be doing watch parties. We're gonna be doing a little bit of everything, and I think Percy Jackson is also on Wednesday, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out at midnight. And if it's not at midnight, then I don't know what we're gonna be able to do because we're not moving Willy Wednesday for the Percy Jackson Disney Plus show. But I do want to still do a watch party for it, so we might just have to do it the next day. And then of course we're gonna be doing Rebel Moon watch party for that movie. That's gonna be live. We're gonna be doing that. I think that's Friday. And then there's something else. Oh, Aquaman is coming out this week. I really don't know if I'm seeing that movie. I want to though, but just with how life is, I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to like go to the theater and not be at the house. You know what I'm saying? So if so, then I'll be checking that out. If not, then I won't be. Type shit. Yeah. Yep. I think that's all the things. I think that's all of the things. So I definitely appreciate y'all. I definitely appreciate you, Marisu. Tap in with your boy. I'm watching you. You know, we here. Me and Remy both. We here for you. You know what I'm saying? Sending our love and all the vibes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you are so sweet. I will be back Wednesday, so hopefully you done your homework. Yo, I'm telling you, I'm about to listen to all of the first part again and then start on the next part. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm really feeling. Like I want to start from the beginning and just go through it all again, and I just might. So we gonna see. Damn. Damn, what happened? If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Marvel Bros. Stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture and all the nerdy things that we talk about every single day. And also make sure to follow me on social media at Sensei Benito. Stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing I may be partaking in at that particular time. And don't forget that these podcasts will be coming out weekly on wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that be Google Play, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or any of them other things that I did not aforemention already. So, with all that being said, you guys have been amazing today. You guys are beautiful people. I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of their night, and I will see you guys, I think it's either tomorrow or Wednesday for the watch party. I'm not sure when it is, but whenever I see you, I'm going to see you when I see you. And I might be making some music live tonight on Twitch, so definitely tap in on the Twitch channel if you're interested in jumping in there and hearing some of your boy make some music. You feel me? If you ready for some Sensei After Dark, you know what I'm saying? Wait, that sounded a little spicy and I didn't mean for it to. Well, I said too much. I'll see you on the next one. Be breezy.
If you guys would like to support Marv Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update,
On today's pop culture news update,